Hey guys, welcome back to another episode of Whitty's Gear Reviews. So again, we're going to have a small little Temu haul here. There's a lot of stuff to go over. I've taken some things out of the package because they were just wrapped up in some of their famous brown paper shoved in a white sack. So some of those that were going to be real loud, I just took it out of the wrapper. But we're going to move this stuff out of the way and kind of go into it one by one. What we've got, basically survival, camping, maybe some EDC thrown in here. Got another camping trip that we're going to do this winter, so I've got a couple extra things to try out for that trip, and we're going to kind of go over what we got here. So let's move everything out of the way, and we'll bring you back in 1, 2, 3, movie magic. Everything will be clear. Okay, and we're back. So the first thing we have to talk about here is just this little titanium cup, mug, bowl, whatever you want to call it. A lot of people call it different things. They've got it listed as a 500 millimeter pure titanium camping mug. Comes in this nice little carrying case, little mesh carrying bag, which is way bigger than the pot itself, which I like that because it gives you a chance to put in, like if I was to put it in here, I could probably fit a gas cylinder in there next to it. I could probably put my BRS titanium camp stove in there, and I could kind of have my whole little camping set drawn up in this bag, not to mention what I could put on the inside. Now, this is made by a company called Snow Rock, which you can see on there. This is their titanium camp or pot, mug, whatever they want to call it. We're just going to check it, see if there's any metal on it. No, it doesn't appear to be. I've got a 500 liter billy pot here for reference. So yeah, they're right. That would be 500 liters. You can, or milliliters. You can see in here it says 500 liters. This one's stainless, and yes, there is a big difference in weight. So if you're going lighter weight, then you could go from stainless to titanium. And that has that little pour spout there, if you can see it. Right in there, that little bird's mouth. And then it comes with this handle. Now, I will say that these handles, you have to stick it in here. And it's basically like a titanium coat hanger feeling material. But it's stout. And I like these handles, especially if you buy you one of those cheap Teflon, I guess, pot mats from the dollar store. Cut that thing and sew it on here, and it is heat resistant, and so it won't burn with the fire. I wouldn't do it all the way up here. I'd put it on the last couple of inches, or make a little slip. Or they sell those things that are titanium, or that are silicone that you could run your fingers through. But gives you a good option of picking it up. The titanium doesn't get it hot as hot. It cools down a lot faster. It doesn't hold heat as long. But I like this style of handle because it gets you further away from your stove, right? When you're picking it up. The little handles like this. This is also a little titanium coffee mug. But you can see how much closer your hands would be to your heat source. So I like the handle. I like the fact that it stows away. A lot of times when I'm putting these in like pockets or bags, a lot of times these things get caught on stuff. And it's just a pain in the butt. This, I can take my handle off. Just squeeze it, pull down, toss it back inside, whatever, and it's pretty smooth, not going to catch on anything. It looks super well made. You can kind of see where they spot welded the lid on there, so that should be good. You have that little cut through in there. If you can see right there, it allows it to lay flat. You have that little cut through. So well thought out. Push that forward, and now your lid stays up. Doesn't lay flat, so when it's hot and you're trying to check it, that allows you to get, we're just going to simulate, that allows you to get your fork in there, your spoon, and lift that lid off without burning your fingers. So good thought process there. Push it back the other way, and now you can lay it flat for storage. Nothing wrong with that, guys. I mean, this is a titanium, pure titanium pot, 500 milliliters, and you're coming in at $10.41. I don't think that's a bad buy for that price, $10.41. It will replace a stainless steel one I have in my bag. Next thing we have is these little guys here. I saw these. I had them in my cart for a while. I never pulled the trigger. I had found some other things that I used. They worked okay, but they just didn't have the volume. And these aren't just for camping. They're also for traveling, anything like that. I'm not going to pull them all out. But they're these little acrylic 50-liter reusable bags. I like these because you can put your liquid in there. You can put the amount of liquid that you want to carry, whether it's soap, shampoo, lotion, anything like that. And they just don't take up as much room. Let's say, for instance, you're carrying a full thing of, some kind of lotion or something. I mean, you can see the difference in putting in just what you need for your trip as opposed to taking a whole bottle of something, right? And these are super, super well made. I mean, no different than any other kind of containers you're going to find at your Walmart or any other box store. They seem like they're double reinforced on this side. Really don't see a problem with these things. They're going to be for what I need them to. When we go camping and there's, if we're car camping or anything like that, or, state park or anything of that nature, they usually have showers somewhere along the park. So you're going to grab your backpack. You're going to walk to the shower to get a hot shower in. And something like this would work perfect. Throw it in a small little mesh bag like that. You throw them in there. You get in your little shower, take your shower. You throw them back in your bag. And it doesn't matter if they're wet, right? You just throw them back in your mesh bag and carry them back to camp like that. And, man, you're good to go. You didn't have to carry a lot of stuff. You're going to be basically what? If you're going to go extreme, you're going to have body wash, shampoo, and conditioner. If you're like me, you're going to use like a 5-in-1 or a 3-in-1, and I'm walking in with that. I could throw that in my pocket of my shorts, walk in, do my business, and leave. This was a 10-pack. And like I said, they're calling them 10-piece, 50-milliliter reusable acrylic travel pouches. And they're just great for a hygiene kit, guys. No matter what bag you throw them in. A little bit bigger to go like ultralight as far as if you're putting them in a small kit. You could get away with a lot smaller, a couple day use. But I would imagine you could put enough liquid in one of these to last you 3 or 4 days. Anyways, guys, super cheap. These things came in at $2.82. So, not bad for 10 pieces, $2.82. Alright guys, the next thing we have is just, I've bought some of these before, but I bought them in a different color. I bought some orange ones, because I didn't really want them to glow in the dark. I just wanted them to be high vis. But these are basically, and I bought them from the same place I bought the last one, because I know that they're quality, and I'm going to get exactly what I ordered. But these are just little, it's a little 4-piece, let's get our bench knife here. Well, there we go. I didn't need the knife. Just needed some fingernails. But this is just a little 4-piece glow-in-the-dark zipper pulls. Every time that I'm in there, typically I'll buy I'll buy some zipper pulls just to have them. I make a lot out of Molly, but, or paracord, sorry, not Molly, but out of paracord. It's just nice to have extra ones laying around for kids' backpacks or any kits that I'm working on. I tend to use them a lot on different things. I'll buy bags and I'll replace the zipper pull. Sometimes I want something that's like this. Sometimes I want paracord. But you can see, doesn't take much to make them glow. They're going to be super bright. You'll see them at night. Easy to find. I would suggest putting it on something that, like a, say for instance, an admin pouch, something like that. Something that if you pull out and it falls into, you know, the brush, can you find it? So having something that's glow in the dark might just be useful later in the evening. You can go back and you might be able to see it if these things are glowing and had enough sunlight. But good little zipper pulls. They've been pretty strong. I haven't had a problem with the ones that I have on my bag now. So I don't anticipate having a problem with these. Again, like I said, it's a 4-pack, transparent, glow-in-the-dark zipper pulls. And they're made, they say they're made out of polyamide or amide, whatever you want to call it. But they're $1.73 for 4. So I don't think that's a bad deal. I mean, compared to other places that I've looked for zipper pulls, they kind of get pricey for what they are. All right. The next thing we're going to take a look at is this kit. And I didn't know what to think about it. I bought it. It was super cheap. Let's go on the price. $3.53. Kind of, when I got it, I was unsure. But then again, it's going to fill a need. And these tins are about $1.50, $2. I started losing value real quick. So this may not be for everybody, but I'm going to show you basically what it is. It is just a metal tin, but it's got 4 separate pieces of pre-done char cloth in there. So if you don't feel like making char cloth yourself, if you're trying to make a kit and you want some, you know, char cloth that's already in bags that you want to put into the bottom of a Altoids tin kit, this is a good way to go if you don't have the time or the hassle, or if you're building these kits for somebody and you don't want to sit there in your backyard and burn a bunch of char cloth. You can buy this pre-made kit and use that. I had bought these kits because I wanted to make a bushcraft fire starting kit, and an Altoids tin was a little bit too small for what I wanted to put in here. So, and I wanted some char cloth, so that was like a bonus. So I was able to get the tin and the char cloth. Now all I have to do is add the other components, a Ranger band, and I'm good to go. Again, it's like some things are so cheap on Temu that when you spend something, you get it and you're like, man, I just spent $3.53 for that. Actually, not that bad. If it had Coleman or something else, Ozark Trail, and it was for sale at Walmart, you'd probably be paying $6 plus for the same exact thing. So I guess it's not that bad. The next thing we're going to take a look at is these right here. So basically that's 200 pumps of foam soap. I've done some of these in the past. You can buy these things at any of your camping retailers, REI, stuff like that. I know they have them at REI. They also sell them at Camping World, Bass Pro Shop, and all it is it's, let me see if we can get one open without messing everything up here, being able to put them back in, because I want to keep them in their container. But it is 200 sheets of individual sheets of soap. So that is your sheet of soap. Add a little water, do it in your hands, and you have some instant foaming soap. A lot easier in a hiking situation, I guess, to carry these than it is to carry liquid. Airport travel, I guess, if you like washing your hands and there's no soap in the bathroom, you could bust one of these out. I would recommend putting them in a different, like in a Ziploc bag that's waterproof and carrying them that route. And I would I don't have fingernails, so it was a little harder for me to separate the sheets. So I would, because they're kind of like notebooked on the top. I don't know if there's a little glue that allows you to just kind of rip them off. I would pre-rip them, or I guess, detach them from each other. That way, if your hands are wet, you're not activating each and every sheet. I would imagine it would be a lot like toilet paper. You get a little bit wet, it all gets wet. But just a thought, these things are super cheap. There's 200 of them in here. It would probably take, I mean, if you were going to take a shower with these things, it'd probably take 6 sheets. But if you're just washing your hands, cleaning something off, you're probably going to only need one of them. But these, like I said, 200 pieces, foaming soap sheets, $2.70. I mean, why not? Try them out. $2.72. The next thing we're going to take a look at is, I bought this, and, sometimes I just look at things and I'm like, oh, that's cool. I'm going to try it out, see what it is, see if I can come up with different uses for it. And it's just basically what they're calling a one-piece ID card holder. But it kind of looked a little tactical-ish. You can see there, it's just clear plastic. But my thought process on this is, a lot of times when I'm camping, I'll take my wallet and I actually throw it in whatever bag I'm carrying, because I don't like it in my pocket if I'm mountain biking or anything like that. That's my wallet. It's just the chum's wallet. It is super thin as it is, but I can kind of condense all that into here, because you've got extra places for cards to be stowed. A pin. I mean, this opens up. You can actually take this part and Velcro it to a bag or whatever. It's quick, detached. So if somebody asks for your badge, be like, all right, here it is. And you still have the rest of your stuff on you. It depends what you need, right? Some people look at this and go, man, I work in a plant environment, chemical plant or refinery. I have to wear a badge every day. They always ask to see it. And, I've either got it in my pocket, in my wallet, in a badge holder, and they want me to take it out. Well, this is kind of big. It's easy to get stuff in and out. If they just want to see your badge, rip it off. You ain't got to take the whole thing and hand it to them. Whatever. Or any kind of identification. For, kids going to school. They have to have school IDs or teachers. Anything like that. It would be good to carry. But then it gives you some extra storage to have some other items in there and to carry a pin. Imagine you could fit any size pin in here, but we're going to see. Yeah. Perfectly holds a pin in there of normal size. The smaller pin you put in there, probably easier it is to carry. And then you have this nice little cordage. Looks like a paracord type material. Feels like a paracord type material. And then your little toggle there to tighten it around your neck or whatever you're putting it on. You can also take the cord off. I'd imagine you could run this through any kind of molly on a belt loop, anything like that. You do have that access there. And it was cheap. I bought it. Or, well, when I say it was cheap, it was probably the third most expensive thing in this haul. Maybe they got me on this one for $6.40. But you never know where you'll see this thing pop up in one of my videos later. That's the fun of buying stuff. And then deciding what you're going to use it on or where. But, or how. How I deploy this thing. what my need may be later may be something that people are like, never thought about that. Or I'll see somebody else do it and I'll say, I never thought about that. And I'll implement it myself and share it if it's relevant. All right, next thing we got is, so I bought a couple of these. Go back if you didn't see it. A couple videos before this one, I bought the canvas kit, which is more of a, for my main camping trips, my family camping trips, right? I could bring all my spices with me. That's basically what this is, but it's a lot smaller individual set. So most people know, as long as you could carry salt, vinegar, garlic, and onion powder, that kind of covers being able to season anything. Fish, beef, pork, squirrel, raccoon, whatever it is that you may be seasoning out there, or stuff you brought with you, burger stuff. And then you could throw in your last one like a burger seasoning or red pepper flakes or whatever it is that is a spice you go to, a Dano's spicy, Dano's regular, all seasons or all-purpose salt or seasoning. And then you kind of got a nice little run of 4 here. And they are going to be I'm not going to say waterproof, but they're going to hold liquid. So if you wanted to go in here and add salt, pepper, vinegar, or salt, pepper, garlic, you could add, say, vinegar or salad dressing, Italian, whatever, in one, and then turn around and throw some vegetable oil or some olive oil in the other. Depending how you cook, what your style is, that's how you can do this. I've even seen people take the squirt butter and squirt it in one of these tubes and bring it with them. That way you get there, if you're hiking, it's going to wreak havoc if it's wintertime or fall. If it's summertime, you could just kind of get your butter out of there and go. If it's wintertime, you're never going to get it out of this tube, so consider that. I would just bring some butter, throw it in a Ziploc bag, and toss it in your stuff. You do have this small little pocket down here where I would, if I was carrying a kit like this, I'd put some small packets of salt and pepper, individual packets. So if you did that, you could probably change what kind of stuff you brought up here. But some sugar packets, anything like that, I would suggest putting it in that small little container there. That way you're not using your big containers, and boom. Super small, super compact. This isn't leather, it's some pleatherous material, but it's going to be water resistant, dirt resistant. Seems like it's going to be easy to wipe off. You do have this little cord here. So when you get to camp, if you want to hang this thing up so you can see your seasonings, you just hang it up on a branch or tent, whatever. If you have a ridge line, you can hang it on there, hang it in the center of your tent, whatever you want to do, however you want to display your spices, that's your option. But for me, for traveling reasons, I would probably keep it inside and throw it in a pocket in my bag, just like so. These things aren't that expensive for what you're getting. They're calling this just the mini spice bottle kit. And I forgot to mention, one of the other kits that I got, these were glass. These are not. These are kind of like a Nalgene bottle feeling plastic. It has a little bit of give, but they're fairly firm. So those would probably be a little bit better in a kit than glass. But it's up to you, whatever your preference is. But $7.22. In my mind, it's not bad for that. But if you wanted to go more minimalistic, you can actually make them yourself with a bit of ingenuity and knowing where to go. You can go to places like Hobby Lobby and stuff like that. They have little tins. They have little jars that are plastic and glass that are real close to what you saw here. And you could turn this kit into something like that depending how many days. I made this kit super simple, Ranger band, some of these little bottles, and just took a permanent marker. You're looking at salt, pepper, garlic powder, onion powder. This is just like an Altoids tin. Everybody fits back in here. Nice and easy, like it was made for it. Very little rattling. So you're not going to get a lot of rattling. You put your Ranger band on there, it even gets quieter. If you wanted, you could put a little bit of tape on the top, a little bit of tape on the bottom, and it wouldn't make a sound. And 96 cents for the jar. I had to buy the kit that I bought. The bottle kit that I bought came with 2 big bottles and 4 small bottles. My preference was, so it was $2.49 for the bottles, but I had to buy 2 packs to get the 4. So you're looking at less than $6. I made this, but I have plenty of bottles, small bottles left. So there are reusable parts. So I would say, with that being said, it probably cost me about $4 to make this. And then you could buy this one, which is a lot bigger, but you may want that for $7 and I think it was 22 cents or 32 cents. The next thing we're going to have for y'all is, I bought these on my last haul, but I bought some more because they were super cheap and I really liked the way they worked out. These are basically for any of my first aid kits that I throw in any of my bags. It's just a medical tag. This is actually stitched. It's not like it's not like they just stamped it on there. It's hard to see, but that's actually in the yarn, or the thread. It's sewn into the patch, and then the red's sewn. So it's not going to wear out. It's going to be vibrant like this. It may get dirty, but it's not going to rub off or wear out. It's on there. It'll stay on there as long as the thread's still connected. But super cheap, guys. If you're trying to find a way, I mean, I've used zip ties, I've used red tape, just kind of to let me know in a bag where my first aid was if I didn't have it in a pocket outside of my bag. Not all my bags have external pockets, or a lot of external pockets. So these things, I mean, it's quick, simple, easy, and it's $1. They're $1.53 a piece. And they're double-sided. They're good tags. If that's hanging in your bag, you're going to see that, and you're going to know where your medical gear is, and you could tell others, hey, look for the I mean, you don't even have to tell them. They're going to figure it out fairly quick when they see that tag. That must be the medical bag. But, like I said, $1.53. They're just called medical bag tags. If you want to look them up, I will leave a link in the description to everything that I have here. So if you want to jump over to Temu, just click on the link. It'll bring you there. Guys, a lot of times some things will say discontinued. The prices may vary compared to what I paid for it a week ago compared to what you get it now. Some people have told me that a lot of the things that I did, that they got way cheaper, which is great. Some things you may pay $1 for more. It's just the way Temu works. If there's something you find and the price isn't right now, throw it in your cart. Put your notifications on. Anytime the price drops on that thing, they'll send you a notification saying, hey, price dropped. That's how I got the titanium mug for $10.41. It was $22 sitting in my cart. It dropped down to, I think, $18 for a long time. And I was thinking about buying it at that price. And then it dropped down to $10.41. And I'm like, okay. And that's how I get my hauls. I put a lot of stuff in there. When one thing drops down real cheap, I'll add some other items in there with it. And then purchase it like that. And it has worked for me. The last thing we have in here, we had to do some kind of tactical bigger bag. I bought 2 of these, and they're actually bigger than I thought they were going to be. for what I wanted to use them for, but they still work. So I recently bought a new bushcraft backpack, and it has some molly on the very top of the bag. The bottom is bigger pouches for like water and food storage, but then up top it has some molly on the sides of the bag, not on the front of it. And I measured and thought, man, these would be perfect. And they are. They fit good, but they opened up a little wider and I was like, man, all that means is I'm going to shove a bunch of stuff in there. But I guess that's the purpose of any kind of drop bag you're going to add to anything is it's just a drop bag, right? It's got one divider in there, but other than that, it's just a drop bag. It Velcros shut and then has your buckle to make sure that it's going to stay shut. It's a lot like a hand grenade bag, basically. So you're not going to put stuff in here that you don't want to get wet. You're not going to put stuff in here that, you know, is real small that if your bag falls upside down, they're going to fall out. What I'm going to put in here are kits. So I may put a small first aid kit in here that's going to be in its own container, but it's going to be something outside my bag that I don't have to dig for. And in the other one, I'm going to put my power bank, some cordage, the power cords, in my other one. Then that way they're on the outside of my bag. So I could actually take the cord, if it's a long enough cord, which you want to get like a 30-inch cord or something like that. And I could actually throw it over my shoulder and hook it to the straps on my backpack, and I could walk in like that hiking. This will be in my pocket like this. This will be down in here in a bag with the cord hanging out, and it's on my side of my pack. I've got the cord coming out here, and it's going through the loops on my shoulder straps, and I've got it right there. So anytime I need to charge my phone, if I'm using Onyx backcountry on my phone to navigate in, I can charge my phone as I go without having to stop, break camp, throw it in there, whatever. Just gives you an option. Those bags, so overall, this thing is 6.29 by 5.51 by 1.57, and I think that 1.57 is where they're wrong, because that thing, maybe when it's crushed, but when it's expanded, this thing, I was wanting it for the reasons I told you, and when it expanded, I'm like, oh my goodness, I'm going to fill that thing up with all kinds of stuff I don't need. That's over 3 inches expanded. So you're looking at that's about right. That's about 6 1/8. So the other dimensions are about right. I just didn't know it was going to open up that much. I thought it was going to stay like that, which is perfect size for my power bank that's still in there. But like that, I could add all kind of stuff in there. But still not bad. These things were $6.80 a piece. And they hook to your molly, and I like these because this makes them more permanent. Can you still attach the quick detach if you want to yank these things off? Yes. I'm putting them on that bag to stay. They're not going to be, I don't want them to be where I could take them off or where they'll fall off. They're going to be permanently mounted to that bag. Anyways, guys, that's all we had today. What do you think? We went over a lot, from soap all the way down to bags to spices. Let me know what you think about the content. Let me know if there's anything in particular you want to know more on. How any of the stuff works. We should be taking most of it on our very next trip. Hopefully that'll be within the next week or so, next couple of weeks maybe, depending. But still 3 ways to support the channel. Whitty's Gear, buy me a coffee, memberships. We struggle on all 3. If anybody wants to help us out, hey, by all means, those are 3 great ways to do it. do us a favor, like, share, subscribe, click all those notifications, and leave a comment. Comments help drive the algorithm. It helps keep our content out there longer so people can discover it and watch. We're still trying to hit 3,000. We should do that this month. Fairly simple. I think we need 55 more subscribers. We'll hit our 3,000 mark, which is a great accomplishment in the, 7-8 months I've been doing this. But anyways, guys, appreciate y'all watching. If you are new to the channel and you have needs for your hiking bag, you're thinking about what can I do with something, shoot me a comment or go over to my YouTube page or my Facebook page. Sorry, you're on my YouTube page. Go over to my Facebook page, Whitty's gear reviews, and shoot me a message in Messenger. A lot of people do it that are here on the channel. They shoot me stuff all the time. They'll see something that's on sale somewhere and they're like, oh, Jay might be interested in these. And they're constantly shooting me gear sales, ideas, things they found. Anyways, so jump over there and drop me a line. Anyways, guys, love y'all. See you on the next one.